A very good evening, welcome to Premier League Live as we kick off another match week of midweek action. All 10 games across the next 3 nights of Premier League Match Day 29. 4 of them tonight, 3 already underway as 7:30 kickoffs, and our feature game this evening sees bottom side Wolves take on Liverpool, who are looking to jump into the top 4 with victory tonight. We'll see if they can do that at Molineux. That kickoff is in around about 7 minutes time, but elsewhere this evening in our midweek madness, already Bournemouth and Brentford, Everton and Burnley, and Leeds and Sunderland are all underway. There's only one goal from those 3 games, and that's come at the Hill Dickinson Stadium on Merseyside. Everton have taken the lead against Burnley. James Tarkowski, the former Burnley player, of course, set up by James Garner, has given Everton the lead. And Everton's side, who are actually themselves just a point as it stands, with Brentford drawing, just a point off the top 7 heading into tonight's, as it stands, shall we say, at the moment. Elsewhere, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0, and Leeds 0, Sunderland 0, which is an interesting and intriguing battle there at Elland Road and the Vitality Stadium. Of course, a Brentford team who can actually go above Chelsea before they play tomorrow night if they beat Bournemouth. Bournemouth team also trying to push themselves into that European race. And Leeds and Sunderland. Sunderland have dropped to the bottom half after a few poor results, but they're looking to bounce back up. And Leeds looking to really steer clear of any relegation questions come the final few weeks of the season. So lots to keep you up to date with tonight. As I said, 4 games in total, 3 games already underway, and 1 to come, Wolves against Liverpool. But before we do that, let's quickly recap how the weekend, the games, affected that race for Champions League football. This is the top 7 as of prior to kick-off in all of tonight's games. So Brentford are on 43 points before kick-off, 44 as it stands, but we're going off pre-kick-off. So this is, as we stand, going into match day 29. Of course, Arsenal have already played a game more than everyone else, but they are 5 clear of league leaders. 59 points. Manchester City are 5 behind the league leaders Arsenal. 8 points back are Manchester United, who took 3rd place off Aston Villa on goal difference after Man United's win at the weekend against Crystal Palace. Aston Villa's defeat to Wolves on last Friday night meant they were vulnerable, and are vulnerable again tonight, because an Aston Villa team who started last Friday night 3rd could possibly, if Liverpool win this evening, could be 5th come the end of this evening's action if Liverpool win away at Wolves this evening. As I said, Liverpool's 5-2 win against West Ham means they're in this position of possibly going 4th, even a possibility of going 3rd if they win by a 3-goal margin tonight. So lots on the line for Liverpool in terms of where they could be come the end of the evening's action. And Chelsea, a lot of catching up to do, and a trip to Aston Villa tomorrow night is not going to be easy for the Blues. And Brentford, at the moment, as it stands, still in 7th, but could push themselves, as I said, up to 6th with victory this evening, before, of course, Chelsea play tomorrow night. But a lot to play for in the race for Champions League football. We expect it to be top 5, but at the moment it stands at top 4. So still, we will go with that. Coming into this game, as it said, Wolves against Liverpool tonight. This is the first of 2 meetings between the sides this week. Of course, they will play each other in the FA Cup on Friday night. You can watch that live here on LFS on Friday night. I believe an 8 o'clock kickoff. It is. Both at Molineux, by the way. Liverpool did win the reverse league fixture this season, 2-1 at Anfield on the 27th of December. Florian Wirtz, who's absent tonight of course, and Ryan Gravenberch scoring both Liverpool goals. Wolves, though, are winless in the last 2 home league games against Liverpool since a 3-0 win against the Reds in February of 2023. However, though, Liverpool have lost just once in the last 7 games in all competitions, winning the other 6. Their only defeat was against Manchester City, 2-1 at Anfield, a game which they led by 1-0. And, well, Wolves won their last fixture, which is a rarity, you gotta say, because that's only their 2nd win of the season, and that was last Friday night against Aston Villa, where both Rodrigo Gomez and João Gomez scored the 2 goals. Lots of Gomez players to get through for Wolves tonight. We'll tell you all about that in the team news right now, because Wolves, a winning side. Why change it, you gotta say? Jose Sa continues in goal, of course, a back 3/back 5, which we know very well. Chachoa at right wing back, Doherty, Santiago Bueno, that's another one, and Ladislav Krejci are the back 3, with Wolfa at left wing back. João Gomez is alongside. There has been that late change, actually, which has confused me. There's been a late change to the team. So Totti Gomez actually starts at left wing back. Jean-Ric Nobellegard is alongside João Gomez. Hugo Bueno at left back. This is well changed. Arokodare, Mane and Armstrong are the forward line. Very different looking Wolves team, I gotta say there. In terms of Liverpool, let's get to them. Alisson starts in goal. Jeremy Frimpong only returned from injury in action against West Ham at the weekend. He got involved in Liverpool's 5th goal. He starts at right back tonight. Konate and Van Dijk are at the centre backs, with Milos Kerkez continuing at left back. Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai continue in midfield, with no Florian Wirtz this evening. Salah, Gakpo and Ugo Ekitike continue as the Liverpool front 3. On the bench for Arne Slot's team tonight, Mamadashvili, Gomez, Robertson, Ramsey, Noni Jones, Morrison, Chiesa and Rio Ungamoa, the Liverpool starters. Backing up the Liverpool starters. It is Wolves against Liverpool in the Premier League alongside 3 other games. It's underway in just a second. Very quick turnaround for this one. As we hit 8:15. We're ready to go at Molineux. Wolves in gold shirts, black shorts. Liverpool in all red for this one tonight, as we get another match week underway in the Premier League. And we're ticking down the weeks till the end of the season, albeit we're only at the start of March, but the season and its end is within sight. 9 games after this one for everybody in the Premier League to play, and a lot on the line for everyone. Wolves practically know their fate, that they will surely, very likely, be a championship team come next season. And Liverpool will be hoping they will be in the Champions League next season. A win tonight would certainly give them a real boost. But here comes a test early doors down the right-hand side. It's Chachoa with a deep cross over the head of Frimpong and put away by Wolfa, coming down that left-hand side behind for a goal kick. Yeah, lovely ball through the lines. Great run down the right-hand side by Chachoa. And a great delivery. Just a little too heavy for Wolfa to take in on the far side, and it bounces off him and behind for a goal kick. Reminder for you, those games that kicked off earlier are all 7:30 kickoffs, so they'll be going to half-time very shortly. We'll update you on the half-time scores from those very soon. They're all in additional time, you gotta say. Here's Jeremy Frimpong. Let's take this throw, linking up with Ekitike down that side, but Liverpool actually have the last touch there, and that's going to be a Wolves throw. Well, as I said, Wolves very much know their fate after their 2nd win of the season. It's very likely we know where they will be, and they actually have a game more than everyone else. Of course, they've already played Arsenal in that extra fixture, so this is their 30th league game of the season. Everybody else is 29th. For Wolves, A win tonight would see them jump up to 16 points in the table, just 11 behind Nottingham Forest, but Forest will have had to play their game in hand and this week's fixture, so that technically Forest could still have 2 games in hand and an 11-point gap, even if Wolves win tonight. So the mountain that they have to climb to have any chance at survival is huge. And that is why they're expected, and have been for a long time, expected to be the first team on the chopping block in the relegation battle this season. I think they've known for quite a while that will be the case. Liverpool were one of the teams Wolves played when they had their real kind of upturn in form around about Christmas time, when they got the draw out of Manchester United. They won as well their first league game in and around that mix of times, and they were picking up some good points at the start of the year. Liverpool were a team that they really took to the final whistle at Anfield back in December. A 2-1 scoreline probably fairly reflects the balance of the game and how tight it really was between the two sides. And that was a Liverpool team that were well out of form at that point, kind of flapping with their results, Liverpool, around about the turn of the year. Had a tough start to 2026, but as I said, have won 6 of their last 7 games in all competitions. And in terms of the league, Liverpool have turned it around since their 5-game winless start to 2026. They've won 4 of their last 5 in the league, including back-to-back away league victories with clean sheets away at Sunderland and Nottingham Forest back-to-back, and big home wins against Newcastle and West Ham to boot as well, which will breed a lot of confidence into this Liverpool team, who at the moment, probably alongside Man United, the 2 form teams when it comes to the Champions League chasing teams. Gotta say, Villa are a little bit out of form and Chelsea are a little bit inconsistent. You don't really know what you're going to get with Chelsea. That's why a lot of people are predicting Liverpool and Man United to be real nailed on teams for Champions League qualification next season. Here's Konate. Frimpong to McAllister, who tried to force the pass through but got lucky with the bounce off of João Gomez there. Back to Ibrahima Konate. Here is Jeremy Frimpong, who returned, of course, to the Liverpool team in the 5-2 win over West Ham after exactly a month out, when he got injured in the 6-0 win over Qarabag at Anfield at the end of January. And returned with another big scoreline for Liverpool. That's a baller behind. Salah's taking it down, not given time to shoot. Timed his run well, Salah, but the Wolves defence smothered him when he got anywhere near him behind. See it here, whether he timed it right, we'll see it again. Oh, I think he's just onside there, Salah. I think it's Doherty that plays him onside. Beautifully timed ball, wonderful delivery. Salah, the touch just took it away from, allowed Krejci to get in between him, and then Doherty just made sure it wasn't going anywhere further. Sorry, Santiago Bueno, apologies. Made sure it was going Salah wasn't going any further, and the ball went out for a goal kick. But nice idea though. A threat in behind from Salah can be a real problem. There's a stat for you. Liverpool away from home this season, only 3 goals on the road in the first half of away games this season, compared to 18 in the second half. They've scored and conceded exactly the same amount of goals on the road. Here's Cody Gakpo, picks up a loose ball and fired it straight at Jose Sa. Good pressing though from Liverpool, won it back high and got into a good shooting position. Nicely won back by Gravenberg. Frimpong back to Konate. In terms of their away form though, Liverpool, they're not the worst team when it comes to road results. Only 3 teams in the Premier League have actually won more away games than Liverpool this season. Everton, Man City and Arsenal. And coming into this fixture, only 5 teams in the league have picked up more points on the road. Those 3 I've already mentioned, and Chelsea and Aston Villa in that mix. And they're level on points with United in terms of away results this season. But I have to say that the 2 wins away at Sunderland and Forest, very difficult results, or very difficult performances in terms of the difficulty. Coming away with 2 victories, 2 clean sheets, certainly would have bred a lot of confidence. As Kirkes had to put behind there for a corner for Wolves. Choa breaking down that right hand side again, trying those early crosses, and Milos Kirkes made sure he got in the way of that cross. And Wolves will have the first corner of the game in the 9th minute. By the way, all those other games are half-time. Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0, Everton 1, Burnley 0 and Leeds 0, Sunderland 0 at the break in those early kickoffs. Right-footed delivery from the corner. Flick down, McAllister got a foot to it and Szoboszlai clears. Only as far as Wolfa. Away by Konate. And it's going to be a free kick as Konate was fouled in heading the ball away. Free kick to Liverpool. You can see it here. It's a flick on by Adam Armstrong. And it comes off the chest of McAllister, who then scrambles it away ahead of Santiago Bueno, who was on the scene too. And Liverpool eventually got the free kick, but has been key to Liverpool games, both positive and negative all season really, in terms of set pieces. More recently, more positive in terms of scoring from set pieces. Scored 3 set piece goals against West Ham at the weekend. Each of their first 3 goals of the game came from set pieces, and actually leading the Premier League in this calendar year for set piece goals are Liverpool. After what had been a torrid start to the season in terms of defending set pieces, they were arguably the worst team when it came to conceding and failing to score from set pieces, Liverpool. That's nice from McAllister. Finds Kirkes, who got the cross deflected. Behind for the corner off Matt Doherty. Nice play though. Picked up well in the half space by McAllister, who got rid of it quickly, played it out to his left back, who was bombing forward, and Milos Kirkes, and tried to fire it across the 18-yard area. Well blocked by the Wolves centre-back Doherty. And Liverpool will have their first corner. Dominic Szoboszlai to take. Ten minutes in here at Molineux. Liverpool with their first corner. Lots of bodies in there. Kirkes is a little bit of an outlier in terms of that 5-man attackers in there. Szoboszlai's delivery way at the front post, well, by Choa. McAllister recycles it back to Frimpong. Now Gravenberch. Salah, Gravenberch. They've stayed up the field, the Liverpool centre-backs, for the moment. And Gravenberch will have to go back to Alisson. No way forward and way through there for Liverpool, so retreat and recycle, and everybody gets back into their natural positions. Szoboszlai. Back to Virgil van Dijk. Pumps it over the top, trying to find his international teammate there. And 2 overhit, Jose Sa will retrieve. Albeit being arguably the worst side in the league in terms of results, they actually haven't conceded the most goals in the league, which is a rarity for a team at the bottom of the table, that they haven't conceded the most goals. Of course, they're up there, but in terms of that, they're actually 3rd from worst in terms of goals conceded. You can suspect who's alongside them. The other 2 teams in the bottom 3, West Ham and Burnley, are the only 2 teams to have conceded more goals than Wolves this season. 54 for West Ham, 57 for Burnley, including tonight's goal they conceded against Everton. Wolves have conceded 51, but in terms of the other side, Wolves are the lowest scorers in the league, with just 20 goals scored in the league, and that is by far the lowest. The only team that comes close to that are Nottingham Forest on 26 goals scored this season. João Gomes, Santiago Bueno back to João Gomes, who's got space here for Wolves. He can break forward. Try to poke it down that right channel. Chachoa with a nice run. He's got options in the middle. Chachoa's cross again is poor. Just overhead. But again, João Gomes was given all the time and space there by Liverpool and played a lovely ball through the lines. Great vision. Beautiful weight on the ball. Swung up with his right foot. And Chachoa making that run again on the outside of Kirkes. A threat in behind. As they've won it back high up here, Wolves. Andre Armstrong comes a little deeper. Lays it out to the right hand side. Chachoa goes for the early cross again. Konate with a header and followed up by Szoboszlai. Wolves are going to retrieve here with Krejci with a throw in. Here's a worry, seemingly, for the Liverpool defence. Jackson Chachoa so far, that right wing back of Wolves, breaking down that right flank quite a few times and trying those early crosses. Something Liverpool will have to quickly get to grips with, otherwise it could cause them real trouble. Here's Wolfa. Well closed by Szoboszlai, but João Gomes breaks away from the challenge. Nicely laid away by Gomez there. The other Gomez. There's that many Gomez players. Angel Gomez. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there's 4 or 5 Wolves players with the surname Gomez. Here's Adam Armstrong. Mateusz Mane lays it out wide to Chachoa. Up against Kirkes. Help from McAllister and Gravenberg. As Mane lays it back to Doherty. Closed out by Ekitike, who wins it back, and then it beats away down the left-hand side here for Liverpool, away from Doherty. Andre trying to cover, but Ekitike with space. Ekitike still going. Lays it off to Frimpong, who fires right through it with his right foot well over the crossbar. Well, I gotta say, great from Ugo Ekitike. Breaks apart the Wolves' possession and then carries Liverpool 50-60 yards up the field to try and play off a really good pass. A little bit trying to find maybe Szoboszlai, kind of overhits it, and then Frimpong arrives onto it and makes an absolute meal of the finish. But Ugo Ekitike doing the hard yards for Liverpool, and no doubt about it, probably Liverpool's best signing of the summer. Scored and assisted twice against West Ham in the 5-2 win at the weekend. Albeit that's the goal against West Ham's his only goal in his last 5 appearances for Liverpool since the 2 goals he scored against Newcastle back at the end of January. But by far the most consistent Liverpool performer in attack. 11 Premier League goals, 16 goals, 6 assists from his 37 Liverpool appearances so far this season. Ugo Ekitike scored in every competition for Liverpool that he's played in so far: FA Cup, Champions League, League Cup, Community Shield and Premier League. And got the assist for Liverpool's 2nd goal against Wolves back in December. That was for the Florian Wirtz goal. And that's nicely done by Ekitike, battling back. Frimpong feeds it down the right for Salah. He's got Gakpo with him. A little bit outnumbered as Salah takes control of the ball. Plays it back to Szoboszlai. Carries Liverpool up the fields. Szoboszlai, now McAllister. On the left side. Lays to Gakpo. Ekitike tried to head it back, but well closed out by Mateusz Mane. Frimpong's press is intense. Again, Liverpool unable to keep a hold of the ball as Alexis McAllister tries to poke something, but drops back to Jose Sa. Very intense in their press, Liverpool, on occasion. Trying to nick the ball off Wolves high up. A couple of times they've been successful, but only once really they've been able to use that and break and have a shot of any real great note. It was their first shot of the game, which came earlier on, as that's a wrestle by Ryan Gravenberg. It's going to be a free kick to Wolves. And just to recap what tonight means in terms of that Champions League race, as I said, Liverpool could finish in any one of 3 positions come the end of tonight. They could be 5th if they fail to win. And that is if they draw or lose this evening. They will be 4th if they win by 1 or 2 goals. And they will be 3rd if they win by 3 or more goals tonight, Liverpool. So they could possibly finish any one of 3 positions this evening. And really put the test on those in and around them. But albeit, even if they do win tonight by 3 goals, United and Villa will be level on points with them heading into their respective games tomorrow. Well, as they did in the reverse fixture, these 2 sets of fans linked by an untimely and horrific tragedy, the loss of a player that both clubs, both sets of fans loved so dearly, Diogo Jota. Remembered in the 18th minute here, that was the number that he was so revered for here at Wolves. And of course the number 20 more recently with Liverpool, but nice to see, and something that these 2 sets of fans don't want to link them in a tragic way, but they will be forever linked in remembering Diogo Jota. Konate flicks it over the top, looking for Ekitike. Oh, Sa slipped and dropped it there, but Ekitike got lost and couldn't pounce, but Sa got away with one there. He dropped it on the edge of his own box, and Hugo Ekitike was in the vicinity. Surely a nightmare situation for a goalkeeper. All fed down the left here. Konate again winning his header. Won a lot of headers so far, Ibrahima Konate. Of course, still doubts over whether Ibrahima Konate will be a Liverpool player come the start of next season. Contract is up in this summer. Of course, I think this summer will be fully focused on the World Cup with France, but Liverpool will be very keen to ensure that Ibrahima Konate is a Liverpool player come next season, but reports suggesting they haven't given up hope on trying to renew a contract for the Frenchman. After a tricky start to the season, like a lot of his teammates and a lot of the Liverpool players, has kind of come into his own in the last few weeks, Ibrahima Konate. His performances have improved, and expectedly, Liverpool's defensive performances and results have improved. A reminder that he scored, actually, Ibrahima Konate in the other end in the 4-1 win for Liverpool over Newcastle at the end of January. His only league goal of the season. The only other goal came in the Champions League. He's actually never got more than 3 goals as a Liverpool player in a single season, and that came in his first season. 3 goals and an assist for Konate. Van Dijk is guiding the ball back to his centre-back partner, who lays it off to Frimpong. Liverpool having more control of the ball in the last few minutes, trying to maybe make things click a little bit, but they give it away again as they get it central. Salah trying to press, and Szoboszlai there too. Wolves work out of that wrinkle really well, and Andre breaks away and skips away from Gravenberg's challenge. He was late there, Ryan Gravenberg. That's going to get him a yellow card. Already made an earlier tackle, Ryan Gravenberg, that was a little bit strong. This time it's just a little bit mistimed, and Liverpool midfielder, the first player in the referee's book tonight. Arne Slot doesn't agree, but I think if he has another look at it, I'm sure he will. That's his 5th yellow card of the season for Ryan Gravenberch. Yes, I was searching for that stat. The second halves are underway in all of the early kickoffs. At the moment, the only goal coming at the Hill Dickinson. Everton leading Burnley by 1-0 in that one. And we'll keep you right up to date with everything and anything that happens in those games. And there's the confirmation of all of the latest scores from our midweek madness on this Tuesday night, as we hit around about the halfway point of the first half here at Molineux. And as expected, Liverpool with more of the ball, but very few clear-cut chances to this point. Szoboszlai, Frimpong wide, back to Dominic Szoboszlai, heavy touch though, drops to Salah. Couldn't get anywhere near a shot off, although he gets the break of the ball. Salah again tries to play it to Szoboszlai, but Liverpool trying to be too cute in and around the box. And Wolves able to scramble it clear as they have a player down though in the middle of the pitch, and it's Angel Gomez that's down. After this little clash with Alexis McAllister, it's just a clash between the two players, not a foul. And Angel Gomez down at the moment. So I forgot to tell you who the referee was. Referee Tom Bramall. Timothy Wood is the VAR. I mean, these are names I've not got a clue who they are, but I'm saying them. A reminder for you though, we've another game this midweek in the Premier League, and it is a huge one. Another one that involves two teams chasing Champions League football. It's at Villa Park tomorrow night. Aston Villa taking on Chelsea. It's a 7:30 kickoff tomorrow from Villa Park. Looking forward to that one. Two teams that need to kick themselves back into gear. Chelsea with that defeat to Arsenal at the weekend, albeit they were probably the better team, but ultimately falling to defeat at the Emirates, and an Aston Villa side who have to overcome what was a pretty disappointing result against Wolves on Friday night. 2-0 defeat, and real horrible night it was. It was terrible rain and conditions were awful. Certainly not a game that will be remembered as one of the greatest. It's one of the rare positives that Wolves have had this season in terms of that result against Villa. As I said, only their second win of the season, and when you get to 30 games, 29 games shall I say, coming into this one, with just 2 wins, I mean, you've not got much of an argument to say that you're anywhere near should be staying in the Premier League. Gakpo, nice link up with Kirkez. Kirkez with the early cross, not fully cleared as Ekitike or Gakpo couldn't retrieve, but Szoboszlai does. Now Frimpong. Again, it was good link up down that left hand side. Gakpo and then the underlap of Kirkez laid Liverpool into a good position. Here's Kirkez wide this time. Lays it back to Gravenberch. Now Van Dijk. Szoboszlai. Cross to Konate. Down the right hand side comes Salah. Salah works it back in field though. Szoboszlai. Right wide to Salah. Not much room in and around the edge of the Wolves box, as you would expect. Van Dijk trying to speed things up. Plays it out wide to Cody Gakpo. Going toe to toe. Has to cut back inside. Finds Gravenberch, who's a little bit weak and trying to hold off the challenge, and Gakpo went down. And it's actually going to be a free kick against Liverpool, with Gravenberch trying to win the ball, failing to do so. The two Dutchmen there wrestling for the ball with their opponents, and it's Wolves that come away with a free kick. Yeah, maybe just a little bit weak, Gravenberch and Gakpo on those two, trying to shield the ball. But this is a good move between Gakpo and Kirkez, and the ball into the box wasn't cleanly cleared by Wolves initially. No one in Liverpool colours there to take advantage. First real combination between fullback and winger we've seen tonight for Liverpool. On either side, that is. And so far, I'm sure Rob Edwards will be very pleased with what he's seen. Of course, a Liverpool team that don't score many early goals, but scored early at the weekend, and that really put the West Ham plan into trouble very early on. Scored inside the 5th minute, Liverpool against West Ham, and by this point they were 2-0 up against West Ham. The game of the weekend, Van Dijk and Ekitike the scorers by that stage. So I'm sure Rob Edwards will be very happy after 27.5 minutes that his team really haven't given up too much. Van Dijk, Konate, Frimpong, Salah, nicely guided by Szoboszlai, back down for Ekitike, who kind of swept at it, but no real great power on the end. Here's Kirkez, who recycles, goes for the early cross. Kirkez a little high for Ekitike, and Krejci got his head to it, but picked up by Frimpong. High on the outside, Salah wins the Liverpool corner. Nicely done there to keep applying the pressure there, Liverpool. Salah wins the corner off Angel Gomez. As I say, we haven't seen much of Liverpool down this right-hand side in terms of Frimpong and Salah linking up. They've worked well there to win Liverpool a corner on the right-hand side. And the tall players and Milos Kerkez in the Wolves box. Bit of an obscure one. Salah whips it in deep over the head of Sa, who tried to punch at it. Comes off Wolfe. He's chased down by Gravenberch, but Wolfe gets the clearance. That will drop out for a Liverpool throw in the Wolves half. Gakpo. I see Gravenberch, apologies. Here's Szoboszlai. Can't miss tonight with his new haircut. Dominic Szoboszlai. Frimpong. Gonna go back the way to Alisson. Now to Virgil van Dijk. Now Dominic Szoboszlai. McAllister. Liverpool being patient. Wolves being very switched on and concentrated at a possession. Liverpool having over 60% of the ball to this point as we hit the half-hour mark. Here is number 30, Frimpong. Couldn't get past Chacho, who actually could come and switched sides with Wolfe. Haven't switched back yet as João Gomez helps out to clear the ball, but again Liverpool are able to retrieve possession. No way out for Wolves at the moment, but it seemed like they're in too much of a rush to go too high, Wolves. It's been well documented, Liverpool struggles with breaking down teams that just sit deep, go into that low block and really go man for man in those sorts of areas. Konate, Szoboszlai, lovely little skill, the beat past a man, finds it into Salah in space, but the cover there from Krejci broke apart the attack from Salah, and Wolves try and spring a counter, but Van Dijk was well on top of that, and not a worry in the end. Well, Everton thought they'd scored a second goal. I don't actually know what's happened there, but I believe it's been disallowed, and it remains Everton 1, Burnley 0 at the Hill Dickinson. Szoboszlai, nice switch ball, finds Cody Gakpo on the left up against Wolfe. Gakpo again chops inside, he's going to lift it into the area, a little bit off target, and Ekitike bundling over his man is going to be penalised. Free kick to Wolves. Chachoa was the one that went down. Both players out of their natural positions, Wolfe and Chachoa. Left wing back at right wing back and right wing back at left wing back for the moment there. They will switch back though. Sa, line out from the back here, Wolves. Doherty does well, finds Matej Mane, but the heavy first touch is picked up by Gakpo down the left hand side. inside to Szoboszlai. Need to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more intense. Liverpool. Frimpong trying the early cross, headed away by João Gomez, out for the throw. Salah was the target. Again, Szoboszlai got the ball into space and Frimpong just hesitated a little bit. Instead of just charging into the space, creating a bit of chaos, but Liverpool a little too patient there, really. And from the following throw-in, Wolves have the ball back. Andre spins around, finds space for João Gomes. Feeds it out to the right-hand side. Here's Chachoa. João Gomez. Andre. Nicely done there by Angel Gomez to Doherty. Wolves just want to have a bit of possession. A rare bit of possession, you've got to say, for the home team. In the last 10 to 15 minutes. They're trying to be effective. What can they do here? Early cross from the right is away by Van Dijk. João Gomez running the show for Wolves in the middle at the moment. Here he is again, spins it out wide for Chachoa. Everything for Wolves coming through João Gomez. Here's Chachoa trying to break past Kirkez. He'd done enough to hold him off for the moment. Doherty's going to go for the second cross and Alisson's going to have that one covered. He's going to try and spin Salah in behind, but Krejci should have that one under control and does so. Nice idea from Alisson, but Krejci always had the advantage there. And Salah was well covered over. Well, I've got to say, a Premier League weekend that was full of goals, but so far tonight, just the one from our 4 games in the Premier League. Already 3 of those 4 games already hit the hour mark, and we're just past 34 minutes here at Molineux. Still waiting our first goal. Oh, given away cheaply there by Wolves, but Ekitike really a bit isolated there. No one needed to go to, and his skill didn't quite work out. Sa clears long. Van Dijk in a battle with Armstrong, and Van Dijk comfortably dealt with it. Salah reverses it in behind. Gakpo on the run, but just a little bit away from him, and Sa can thump it long again. And Liverpool a little bit sharper. One right ball, one right pass. Perfectly weighted. Could be a real danger to Wolves. They don't look completely impenetrable, but Liverpool just not quite clicking in the final third so far. McAllister out wide. Kirkez. Much room to manoeuvre there as McAllister will receive it, but Liverpool go right to the back again to build. So Szoboszlai will hit one from range. That took a spin on the way through, but Sa had it well covered. Trying to do something different there, the Hungarian. Van Dijk cushions back to Alisson on the long clearance. There's one thing about Dominik Szoboszlai. He's always got a trick up his sleeve. He's always got something. And he's not afraid to have a shot from distance. There's no doubt about that. Scored 2 unbelievable cracker free kicks this season. From over 30 yards. Arsenal and Manchester City at home in both, and 2 wonderful free kicks. Here's Gravenberg. There's no forward options. Goes wide to Frimpong. He has to go back to Konate. Liverpool just need to open a few passing lanes. Wolves are just closing them out and making them go a little bit easy, a little bit simple. And the free Liverpool man's always the one that Wolves want to be free. That seems to be the way, rather than Liverpool trying to create space. Any space that they do have at the minute is what Wolves are allowing them. And that's something Liverpool need to try and shake off. Frimpong to Salah. Just comes with a little bit more intensity. Earlier on they did well at trying to kind of sustain the pressure, a couple of crosses and then winning that corner. To sustain a little bit of pressure, but the moment Wolves are comfortable with Liverpool playing it about with their centre-backs and into the first midfielder available. That's a nice ball by Konate though. Ekitike, well marshalled by Santiago Bueno. Again, no room. Nothing open there for Liverpool. Albeit Liverpool have had all the shots of the game so far. 4 shots, 2 on target. Wolves with none. Liverpool with 60% possession, but the XG probably is a real reflection of the game. Obviously 0 for Wolves, we haven't had a shot yet, but 0.12 for Liverpool is the XG, so just shows how lacking in terms of the clear-cut chances are being created so far. Another goal to tell you about. I told you earlier Everton thought they'd scored a second goal against Burnley. Well, they now have scored a second goal, and Everton lead by 2-0. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, set up by Iliman Ndiaye, right on the hour mark, has given Everton a 2-goal lead. An Everton team might feel they're a little bit in the shadows when it comes to the chase for European football, because as it stands, they're just a point behind Brentford, who are drawing, and if Brentford were to lose, they would be just behind them on goal difference, depending on what the final result comes from those two games. But there is a world in which Everton could be 7th come the night's end, which would be quite a drastic turnaround for where Everton have been in recent seasons. And at the moment, feeling they're going under the radar, the home side there. It's Everton 2, Burnley 0. Now, more bad news for Burnley, whose slim hopes of trying to stay in the league are dwindling week by week, minute by minute. And after they thought they'd scraped a point out of Brentford from being 3-0 down, VAR denied them at the weekend and they ended up losing 4-3. What would have been back-to-back draws. Free kick here for Liverpool. Frimpong brought down. It looked a little easy, in my opinion, Andre there. Little contact, but referee saw it as a foul. Liverpool with a set piece. High up the field here. Szoboszlai over it. Looking at what options are available to him. Got a few targets to hit in there. Arm goes up in the air. Szoboszlai, right-footed, swung to round the penalty area, and I think it was McAllister that might got a contact to it. He's claiming that it should be a corner. See it again. I don't think there was any contact there from a Wolves player, was there? No. Came off McAllister, and only McAllister. Goal kick is the correct decision there. Krejci wasn't too far away, but didn't make any contact. Goal kick it is. Right, another goal to tell you about, and it's coming one of the 3 games that are goalless, and it's come at Elland Road, a Leeds United side who were, probably they feel, a little bit cruelly done in their defeat against Man City at the weekend, but they lead fellow newly promoted side Sunderland at Elland Road, and a free kick whipped in and at the back post, headed in. Stack's delivery, it was headed in, although they're checking for a possible offside, I believe, maybe, on Joe Rodon in the build-up. So Leeds believe they're ahead. We'll see. And just confirming, actually, that goal has been disallowed. Seeing the referee disallow it live, and it's back to 0-0. So all of that last 30 seconds was pointless. Kirkes down the left to Gakpo, charging into the box. Gakpo's ball across, took a deflection, will be a Liverpool corner. Chachoa with the defendant. We're trying to push a little bit more as the half comes closer to a close. Wolves will be desperately hoping they can get to half-time at 0-0. Be huge for them if they could. So Szoboszlai to take the corner. Everybody in Liverpool persuasion inside that 6-yard box, right on top of the goalkeeper. Ball whipped in, way at the front post again. Armstrong with a header. Yeah, it wasn't the best delivery there. It's 2 corners from that left-hand side, I think, for Liverpool, that both been headed away at the front post. A bit disappointing. Now listen, that's a lovely ball, taken in by Szoboszlai. Linking up with his compatriot, Kirkes. Szoboszlai feeds it out wide to Frimpong again. Not much manoeuvring, room to be manoeuvred into for Liverpool there, and Frimpong has to go back to Konate. That's nice. Kirkes Gakpo. Up against Chachoa. Gakpo. Well challenged by Chachoa. Gakpo felt he'd kept it in play. But Chachoa had cleared it out for a throw before Gakpo got his touch. So Liverpool throw. Taken quickly. Kekes back to Virgil van Dijk. Konate. Frimpong. To say Arne Slot will be a little bit disappointed, I would suspect. Liverpool go in at half-time 0-0. They'll feel that they've been the better team, they've controlled the game, but as it stands, haven't really taken much advantage. Gakpo's delivery. Again, the cross that was deflected, another Liverpool corner, but Gakpo creating one or two opportunities for Liverpool from that left-hand side now. Had a lot of criticism for being a kind of one-dimensional player at times. Cody Gakpo just cuts inside and has a shot, but a few of those occasions Wolves have put blocks to those shots that have ended up in Liverpool corners. So Salah to deliver. VAR checking for a possible penalty at Elland Road. Salah's delivery hit the front post again. Lack of height in those deliveries from Liverpool. Not beating the first man. Pretty disappointing first half if you're a Liverpool fan, you got to say. For Wolves, I mean, undoubtedly they'd be very happy with what they've been able to see defensively from their team so far. Kekes. Van Dijk just a little bit slow. Liverpool again. They just need to increase a little bit of intensity, inject a little bit of energy into it. Keep Wolves moving constantly. Drag them out of position. Salah. Nice. Szoboszlai, Gakpo. Again, a little bit hesitant. Ball out wide. Picked up. Wolfe with the strong defending. Gakpo back inside to Gravenberch. Eventually comes back to Konate. Frimpong. Goes for the early cross, looking for Ekitike. Up in the air by Doherty, and Sa has to punch it away. And he thought he was punching it away from the corner there, but Ekitike is going to be penalised for a foul on the goalkeeper. Free kick to Wolves. Ekitike claiming that he was just going for the ball, but the referee saw it a different way. And as we hit the 45-minute mark, 2 additional minutes are what is held up by the fourth official for the end of the first half. Right, I believe a penalty's been given to Sunderland at Elland Road. So after Leeds themselves thought they'd taken the lead, Sunderland have the chance. Habib Diarra is the one standing at the penalty spot with the ball. He's the one with a chance to give Sunderland the lead at Elland Road. It would be a real dramatic last few minutes. Carl Darlow, the goalkeeper, in the way. Just watching this penalty as the game at Molineux continues. But Habib Diarra steps up, little run up, right-footed, right down the middle, and the goalkeeper got something to that, but he couldn't keep it out. It's Leeds 0, Sunderland 1 at Elland Road. That's an interesting scoreline. Very intriguing. That's going to help Sunderland's case of trying to get back into the top half. And it's going to hamper Leeds' attempts of trying to escape any relegation threat. That's 30 seconds of this first half. A first half that's been very low-key at Molineux. Liverpool with all the shots, Liverpool with everything in the moment in an attacking sense, but Wolves have held them to very few chances, very few clear-cut opportunities, and very little in an attacking sense for the visitors. That's nice from Andre, though. Angel Gomez, no room there to manoeuvre. McAllister with the clearance. Out for the throw. The last couple of seconds of the half. Pretty much the first half really to forget. Not much to remember. As the whistle goes, Molineux at half-time. A pretty uneventful first 45 here in the Midlands. It is the league's bottom side that are holding Champions League, chasing Liverpool to a goalless draw at the break. As I say, very little to mention. Liverpool with 1 or 2 half chances, but other than that, there's been very little to talk about. And a pretty lacklustre first half. Half-time, it's Wolves 0, Liverpool 0. Right, we will be back to analyse this game and quickly recap it on all of those other games and what's happening around the grounds in just a few minutes. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this, and Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions, and there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and battered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. back to Premier League Live. Half-time at Molineux, it's Wolves 0, Liverpool 0. We're not going to talk about that game because there is only one thing to say, and that is nothing of note has happened. It is probably one of the quietest games I've watched so far this season. A lot of time filling. Anyway, elsewhere, luckily we've 3 other games that we can tell you something about so far. Elsewhere at the Vitality Stadium, Bournemouth thought they'd given themselves the lead against Brentford, but not. That goal disallowed, so it is 0-0. It remains there. On the south coast, up in Merseyside, it is Everton 2, Burnley 0 at the Hill Dickinson Stadium in Liverpool. James Tarkowski with the opener against his former club, and Kieran Dewsbury Hall doubling Everton's lead. An Everton side that sit 8th in the table and are just a point behind Brentford as it stands, and are not themselves out of a European battle. Burnley in a very tough spot. And Leeds, who thought themselves they'd taken the lead against Sunderland, well, they trail by a goal to 0. Joe Rodon heading in from an Anton Stack corner, but that was disallowed by VAR. Then, just 3 minutes later, Wilson Isidore went down under a challenge, and a penalty was awarded by the referee. Step up Habib Diarra, and he scores on the 70th minute, and Sunderland lead by a goal to 0 in those early games. So into the final 5-10 minutes of those early kickoffs, it's Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0, Everton 2, Burnley 0, and Leeds 0, Sunderland 1. And as I said, at half-time at Molineux, it's Wolves 0, Liverpool 0 in terms of tonight's games. In terms of tomorrow night, 5 games that we'll be keeping a very close eye on tomorrow night, including our feature game is at Villa Park. Aston Villa taking on Chelsea, which is a huge match between 2 sides who are also chasing Champions League football, but 2 teams that have not really hit the run of form they've wanted to in the last few games, and we'll see how they fare at Villa Park tomorrow night. That's a 7:30 kickoff. Elsewhere on the south coast, Brighton host league leaders Arsenal, an Arsenal side who need to keep winning if Man City keep doing the same, but they will play at the exact same time as City tomorrow night, so we'll see them both in action at the same time. Brighton against Arsenal. Fulham will take on West Ham in a London derby. Fulham themselves pushing towards European football. They're in the top half and in that cluster of teams chasing for those remaining European places. They take on a West Ham side who are in desperate need of some big points and in desperate need of trying to escape that relegation zone. They could, theoretically, possibly have that chance tomorrow night because their closest battlers, Nottingham Forest, who we'll talk about next, are going away to Manchester City. Tough place to go, and we'll see if West Ham can take advantage of that, or if Forest themselves can pull off an interesting result that would affect both the top and bottom of the table when they head to the Etihad tomorrow night. That's also a 7:30 kickoff. The first 4 games tomorrow night are 7:30 games, and the late game is an 8:15, Newcastle hosting Manchester United at St James's Park. And after Newcastle's defeat at St James's Park at the weekend, we'll see how they fare once again in their game against United on Wednesday night. And then Thursday night, the week concludes with a London derby, Spurs taking on Palace. That game isn't on LFS, but Spurs against Palace is Thursday night in the Premier League. So, another busy midweek in the Premier League to come. But a reminder for you, our game of the week and the big game tomorrow night is at Villa Park. Aston Villa against Chelsea. And as it stands, both sides will be chasing that big victory. Villa will be in the top 4 as it stands going into that game. Chelsea will be looking at the moment to take advantage of what Liverpool are failing to do, and that is win at Molineux. And Chelsea, if they win and Liverpool fail to win tonight, they could possibly either go above them or be a point behind them come this time tomorrow evening if they win at Villa Park. Aston Villa, though, will play slightly earlier than Man United, so there is a little bit of an overlap, but they possibly could be back up to 3rd before Man United kick off at St James's Park tomorrow night. But as it stands, they're 4th. Could be displaced by Liverpool come this evening's end. But that is tomorrow night, 7:30, Villa against Chelsea. Right, so big second half though to come at Molineux, and hopefully more to talk about from that second half than there was in the first. It is goalless, surely a big second half to come. It's on the way next. Welcome back to Premier League Live, second half at Molineux on the way in just a moment, and it looks like there's going to be some movement from the Liverpool bench at the break. Looks like Curtis Jones is going to be coming on, and it seems like he's going to be replacing the booked Ryan Gravenberch. So it looks like Gravenberch and Jones swapping places for Liverpool at the break. Something Arne Slot spotted, and he's hoping that can help his team try and win this game, rather than at the moment sleepwalk their way into a draw or possibly a defeat. A team that looks very different to the team that beat West Ham at the weekends. Strange how that can happen, you know. 3 days between those two games, and a team that looks very different, but that's the weird part of football. Curtis Jones on then. That's the only change at the half, by the way, for either team. So Wolves very happy with their first half performance and what we see of them in the second half. But it's all real pressure on Liverpool. They've got the task at hand to come and win this game and help their cause for Champions League qualification next season. Try and continue their good run of form that they've been on, Liverpool. Try and make it 4 league wins in a row. If they were to do that, that would be only be the first time they'll have won 4 games in a row since their first 5 games of the season, which they won all of. Their best run since that was a 3-game winning run between Brighton, Spurs and Wolves at the end of 2025. Need a little bit more quality though from both teams, I gotta say, because Wolves have had threats, have players that can cause problems in the team, but we've not seen much of those either, really. As I said, Wolves without a shot in the game. Liverpool were comfortable in possession in the first half, but couldn't do much more than just possess the ball in undangerous areas. Here's Jeremy Frimpong to Salah. Gives Curtis Jones his first involvement of the half. Salah into Jones, who breaks the lines a little bit. Salah down the right, trying the cross. Blocked and headed across by Salah. Into the hands of Sa, though. Already, Curtis Jones breaking into an area that Ryan Gravenberch wasn't in that first half. Within the first minute of the half, or in a minute and a half of the second half here. Ooh, Konate a little bit awkward against Adam Armstrong here. Should have it under control though. And Konate waiting and waiting until the foul was eventually given there by the referee. Little soft, you gotta say. Adam Armstrong making that claim, and I think he's particularly right on that occasion. Konate knew what he was doing. Here's Cody Gakpo. Back to Curtis Jones, who's playing at left back for the moment. I've got to say, there's one thing about Curtis Jones. You might give him a set position, but he will run absolutely anywhere and everywhere in this Liverpool team. Here's Milos Kerkez. Maybe that's what Liverpool need, a player that doesn't have a set position, someone that's roaming between the lines, picking up different pockets of space, and to drag players out of position. Liverpool were very rigid in possession in the first half. Here's Salah. Salah with a swing into the box. It was a nice idea. It's gone all the way through. Gakpo picks up on the edge. He will whip it in towards Salah. And Ekitike, but punched away confidently by the Wolves goalkeeper. Already Liverpool looking like they're trying to create different angles. do little different things further forward. The travelling Liverpool fans who will make this trip twice this week are seeming appeased at their side's attempts there. Salah. Szoboszlai. To Virgil van Dijk. Fed down the left-hand side. Gakpo. Taking his time. Nice little 1-2 with Jones. Gakpo trying to fire an effort, but well blocked. Salah trying to flip it in behind Ekitike, right on the back of the defenders, but Andre did well under pressure. Angel Gomez does well, gets it back in field. Here to Andre. Pressed by Alexis McAllister, now Krejci. Little back heel by Angel Gomez, but Liverpool were well marshalled to win that back. Szoboszlai, now a little bit of space for Salah. He's got Frimpong in the overlap. Frimpong wide, gets it across. Calls a handball there off Krejci, but looked like it would just come off his arm as it was down by his side. Corner given initially. We'll see what VAR has to say. My initial view was no handball. We'll see it again. Oh, does he use his elbow to actually put the ball out of play? Or is it just bounced off him? Oh, I don't know here. Because, yes, it's down by his side. But does he kind of lean it in? Nonetheless, it's been checked and cleared. Initially, I thought it was down by his side. There was no real issue, but maybe one or two question marks. But nonetheless, no penalty given. Corner to Liverpool, their 5th of the game. Salah on the right-hand side. Not much threat from the corner so far, Liverpool. Salah, left-footed. Flicked on by Ekitike. Back post. Cleared off the line. Oh, goes over the head of Kerkez. Szoboszlai. Cleared away by Wolves. Well, how did Milos Kerkez lose flight of the ball there? What did I say about the obscurity of a player that is a good half a foot smaller than the rest of his teammates in there? From those corners. A little bit taller and Kerkez would have had an easy header. That was as close as Liverpool have come to goal so far. Good guided header there by Van Dijk, but McAllister, or sorry, Szoboszlai actually just about kept the ball. Here's Frimpong. A little bit more intense from Liverpool, a little bit more intention so far in the second half. 6 minutes gone, and I mean, well dominant with the ball. 84% of the possession so far, Liverpool. Kerkez and Gakpo trying to link up. Kerkez went down under a challenge by Mateusz Mane, and that's going to be a free kick. Tom Bramall quick in giving that free kick. See it here. Or actually, we'll see this corner. Ekitike's flick into the back post. It comes off the chest of Curtis Jones onto the crossbar and then bounces behind Milos Kerkez, who's trying to follow it in. Oh my goodness me. As I say, if Milos Kerkez was probably 2 or 3 inches taller, that might have just come off his head and went in. But it hands up behind him. Well, somehow, some way, 3 Liverpool players right on the goal line, and none of them could get it into the back of the net. Free kick though. Salah, left-footed, whips it in. Punched away by Sa. Szoboszlai gets it back to Jones, who strikes. Well blocked. Szoboszlai back on it though. Out wide to Ekitike. Szoboszlai now Jones. Jones trying to force it towards the area. Away by Jachoa. Frimpong and Jones linking up to retrieve the possession for Liverpool. Kerkez going for the long switch. Trying to find Salah. Krejci with the header, but second ball was picked up by McAllister. Now Frimpong. All over at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth and Brentford has finished goalless there on the south coast. Here's Ekitike. Now finds Salah. Salah! Couldn't get a shot off. Still dribbling through as he was well challenged, but Liverpool finding more gaps, more spaces. And that is going to kill the momentum. Frimpong coming back from an offside position. Free kick to Wolves. But again, there seems to be a little bit more invention in Liverpool in the second half. Nice play by Ekitike and Salah, but we see it here. Santiago Bueno with the tackle. And we see this moment again. I mean, how does this stay out? I don't know if Gakpo actually used his foot to claw it away. I think if Gakpo leaves this, it drops in. Calamity of offensive errors. Jesus God. I don't think Cody Gakpo will want to see that replay ever again. Because I genuinely think if he doesn't get a touch with his right foot, that kind of just comes off the chest of Curtis Jones and bundles into the back of the net. Somehow, Gakpo has got a Wolves shirt under his Liverpool shirt, it seems, doing their defending for them. Here's Milos Kerkez. Back to Alisson. Ibrahima Konate. Last few minutes in the games at the Hill Dickinson and at Elland Road. At the moment, Everton winning 2-0 and Sunderland 1-0 up against Leeds. Those early kickoffs. Here's Curtis Jones. Plays it into Frimpong. Down the right to Salah. Hugging the touchline. Lays it into field to Ekitike. Lovely link up. Finds Frimpong. His cross was blocked and kept alive ultimately on the rebound. But Krejci heads behind for the Liverpool corner. Again, the ball by Salah. Well taken in by Ekitike in a really tight area. And he laid it off to Frimpong, whose cross was cleared by Santiago Bueno and then headed behind by Ladislav Krejci. Will be another Liverpool corner. Salah to take right hand side. Well, the last one was as close as Liverpool have come to goal. The last corner. Salah again. This time away at the front post by Adam Armstrong with a good strong header. I have to say, from what I've gathered from Liverpool's corners, there seems to be a fine line between Liverpool, the height of those corners. Because a lot of the times it's not got past the first man, but when it did, that little bit higher, that little bit more height behind it, it almost found the back of the net. So there's kind of minimal margin for error in terms of that position, in terms of the delivery. Liverpool made a change at half-time. Wolves are going to go to their bench early in the second half, it seems. Andre. Ooh, Szoboszlai went to slide for it there, missed it, and Konate was luckily there in cover. Ekitike. Right wide to Frimpong. Creating a little angle for Salah, who feeds it back to Frimpong in space. Goes for the early cross, and Gakpo was in the middle, but Salah got there first. But as Liverpool continue to press for the opener, Wolves keep them out for now. What is the idea from Rob Edwards with these substitutions? Is it to really try and attack Liverpool now themselves? Or is it just some fresh legs to help the defensive stability? It seems to have wavered a little bit in the second half. And from what I can tell, it's a mix of both. Here's Jeremy Frimpong. Again, taking their time. Gakpo. Down the left, runs into Chachoa, but Curtis Jones picks it up, finds Gakpo again. Szoboszlai, space for Frimpong. Down the right, he's got Salah on the touchline. Goes wide to Salah. Undercooked it there, Salah. A little bit awkward there from Liverpool. As Salah tries to win it back, commits a foul. Yeah, a little bit awkward there. Frimpong got himself in a really good position, and I think he just killed the momentum of the attack by playing it out wide to Salah. Just a pass he didn't really need to make happen, and it just turned out to be a bit awkward for Liverpool from there on in. Everton have won by 2-0 against Burnley. The final whistle's gone there, and they're into the 101st minute at Elland Road. Still Leeds 0, Sunderland 1. Right, cue the Wolves changes then. Triple substitution. Going to see Jean-Richner Bellegarde, Tolu Urokodare, and I'm not too sure the other. I think it might be Totti Gomez, is it? It's coming on. The triple Wolves change nonetheless. So Angel Gomez, Matt Doherty and Adam Armstrong are all coming off. And Tolu Urokodare, Yerson Mosquera and Jean-Richner Bellegarde are all coming on. So a triple substitution for the hosts as we edge towards the hour mark here at Molineux. Still goalless. In the first of 2 meetings between these two sides in the space of just 3 days. It will be an exact repeat of the fixture, of course. It will be Wolves at home under the lights, albeit different competition. In the FA Cup it will be on Friday night in the 5th round. That will get the round underway, which we will have, I'm not too certain, but I believe 5 games we're doing across the weekend in the FA Cup. Oh, Szoboszlai. It's Frimpong left it. Salah was the target. Frimpong trying to get to the ball, ends up tackling the Wolves player, Ladislav Krejci. That's going to be a Wolves free kick. Yeah, just kind of clash with each other there. Still going at Elland Road somehow. Somehow Leeds are still pushing for that equaliser, but still it remains 1-0 to Sunderland. Well, Everton have got the win. And Bournemouth and Brentford have played out a goalless draw. At the moment, that's what we're seeing here at Molineux. A goalless scoreline. What has the last half an hour got in store for us? You've got to say Liverpool's output has been a little better in terms of their shots, but actually had less shots on target in the second half than the first. Albeit Curtis Jones has added a different dimension to the game than Ryan Gravenberch did in the first half, but still Liverpool struggling further forward, I think. Again, we've seen very little of Gakpo, Ekitike and Salah. Real good goal scoring opportunities and situations. Very little space. The ball towards Ekitike there was well seen back. Santiago Bueno, I have to say, has done a real number on the Liverpool attackers tonight. Every time he's been 1v1, he's done really well and won his tackles and never given any space up. Gakpo with a good press, wins it back. Liverpool with space here, 4v4, but Ekitike, probably the one and only time he takes a heavy touch, sees Liverpool dispossessed. Bellegarde breaking away here for Wolves. Well challenged by Konate, who retrieves and puts to bed what was a hopeful Wolves attack there. Oh, McAllister almost falling to the ground there against Matej Šmane. Wanted a foul, not going to get one. Went over very easily there, Alexis McAllister. Wolves on the breakaway. Was there a change in the momentum here at Molineux? Urokodare. It's it back to João Gomez, who couldn't squeeze it through a gap that ended up closing away from him. Salah. Gakpo spins into space. Feeds it in behind for Ekitike, who bursts away down the left. Looking to work it into the box. Skips past Mosquera. Plays it across. And that's great defending by Ladislav Krejci. He guided it back to his goalkeeper. The game's opened up. Here's Matej Mane trying to break forward for Wolves. A team that still to this point have not had a registered shot in the game, Wolves. 64th minute, 0-0. Liverpool 11 shots, Wolves with 0. By the way, Sunderland have won at Elland Road. It's finished 1-0 there. Big win on the road for Sunderland after what's been a downturn in form for the Black Cats after their early season standards. But a big win at Elland Road is something that can take real stride in and real pride in. Their 10th win of the season for Sunderland, and they are all but certainly putting any lingering threats of relegation to bed, albeit very slim considering the season they've had. But their manager didn't want to rule it out, to be fair. But they're now 15 clear of the relegation zone, no doubts about that. Leeds, albeit 6 above the relegation zone, so not completely out of the question, but still in a confident position. But back-to-back home defeats by a good 1-0 scoreline will not help their cause. Double substitution for Liverpool. Milos Kerkez and Cody Gakpo coming off. And Rio Ngamoa and Andy Robertson are on. So Rio Ngamoa on for a longer spell of this game than he's had so far in a Liverpool shirt, you got to say. Is the two down the left of Liverpool trying to link up there. They do receive it, do keep the ball. Rio back to Jones. There's Rio Ngamoa, still just 17, but one thing he did say was no matter what, he will always try and take a player on. And that, for me, would be music to the ears of a manager in trying to do something, as Rio Ngamoa does well there, takes a man on and wins a corner. Andre, the man that deflected off. Liverpool with a corner. Well, changed out the whole left-hand side of that attack, did Arne Slot, full-back and winger. Robertson on and Ngamoa off, or on. Corner taken short here. McAllister squares it across. The shot from the right-hand side by Salah is well off target. Tried to change tack there, Liverpool. Go short from the corner, and in the end it had the same result as every other attack and corner so far. Nothing of note. Yes, obviously McAllister tried to link up something down the left. There was nothing to manoeuvre there, and then squared across to Salah on the far side, and he made a really poor shot. One clearance by Sa. Van Dijk with a header. Well, it has been no doubt one-way traffic, but it's probably rush hour traffic, you gotta say, because nothing's gone through. And no one's going anywhere anytime soon, you gotta say, in this game. I've got to say, Wolves have done very well defensively. There's still a lot of this game to go. And there's no team more dangerous late in a game than Liverpool, historically and recently. Here's Frimpong. Salah. Bodies in the box. Salah feeds it into McAllister, who took a touch around his man, trying to work it in across. Sa closed it down, and Krejci clears it away, but good link up between Salah and McAllister, and nice first touch by Alexis McAllister, but Krejci got the better of him with everything afterwards. And the goalkeeper helped out too. Taking real pride in their defending, Wolves. Which, when you're at the bottom of the table, it's all you really can do, to be honest. Zakatika again penalised for contact with a Wolves defender. And I say, a draw isn't the worst thing in the world for Liverpool. Obviously they would want to win, and that's obvious, goes without saying, but A draw keeps them guaranteed above Chelsea at least until the next time they play, no matter what happens tomorrow night. But it also means that a failure to take advantage of playing first this match week of any of the teams in the battle for the Champions League, and a chance as it stands tonight that was to go fourth or even third with a very good result. At the moment they're staying fifth, 2 points behind Villa and United, who will both still yet to play. So will it be a case of missed opportunity for Liverpool, or will they pluck something out in the next 22 minutes or so? On the evidence we've seen so far, the former looks the more likely. Joao Gomez caught in possession there a little bit cheaply. Salah, though, trying to evade the tackle, but was caught quite cynically there by Andre, and that's going to be a yellow card for the Wolves midfielder, as well as the Liverpool free kick. He just went late into Salah, and here's a foul. There's the yellow card. It's actually Joao Gomez that was given the yellow card. Looked like Andre was given the yellow card there. Joao Gomez was. Wolves going to make another substitution. Going to see the departure of Matej Mane. He's been ushered off at the nearest side of the pitch by the referee, although he's actually been offered off the long side of the pitch, which is strange. And Liverpool going to go to their bench again. Looks like Joao Gomez is going to be coming on in a moment as well. So Matej Mane off for Wolves, and Rodrigo Gomez is on. And Rodrigo Gomez scored the second goal against Aston Villa on Friday night in the 98th minute. And Joao Gomez is going to be coming on shortly. Stripped and ready, but not just yet. Szoboszlai. Salah. Dominic Szoboszlai. To Konate, and now Virgil van Dijk. Jones, Robertson, Jones. Still very... It seems like we're still waiting for Liverpool to break into this game, which on the 71st minute is something that you really shouldn't be saying, but it feels like Liverpool really haven't kicked into gear at any point tonight. And Krejci with a bit of defending there from a Salah cross, puts behind for the Liverpool corner. But I mean, you got to give credit to Wolves in their defending, but at the same time Liverpool have been a little bit one-dimensional going forward. A little bit better in the second half, but still lacking that cutting edge. So Joao Gomez is going to be coming on, and he's going to replace Jeremy Frimpong. I mean, it's crazy the many Gomez's we've had involved in this game tonight. We've had Joao Gomez, I'm going to miss them all now, Angel Gomez, Rodrigo Gomez, who come off the bench for Wolves, Totti Gomez, who's still on the bench for Wolves, and Joao Gomez, who's coming off the bench for Liverpool. 5. Corner, right-hand side, Liverpool. Salah's delivery, left-footed. Punched away by Sass. And the shot from Szoboszlai was flicked on by Konate, but wide. And Salah's delivery, punched away by Sa, and then Szoboszlai right on the edge of the D. Struck it a little bit bobbly as it forced its way into the box, and I don't know if Konate got something to it, but he tried to. In the end, it went wide. Jose Sa to take the goal kick. Bouncing in behind. Robertson was there to clear away. Well, Liverpool have entered this state of the game before. In the last 2 away games, they've really not had much in terms of shots to face, albeit Forest did a pretty good number on them in that first half of that game, but second half was very different. Liverpool took control and needed the 97th minute winner from Alexis McAllister to win at Forest. They also needed a second half winner away at Sunderland. Virgil van Dijk, albeit in the 61st minute, so a lot earlier than their most recent, but second half winners in their most recent away games that they've won by a goal to nil and kept a clean sheet in both. And they might need another one here, Liverpool. They're going to make it 3 away wins in a row in the Premier League. Szoboszlai latching onto a loose ball by Sa, but Salah couldn't create the separation on his defender. And João Gomez, who was covering, and he still got the better of Salah here, trying to battle for the ball. Lost out. Gomez tackling. No foul, said the referee, as Wolves clear their lines, and the ball bounced over Rokodari. And Van Dijk just passes it back to Alisson. Well, all the action of the game is still coming in the Wolves half as Liverpool continue to push, but still no evidence of a way through yet. Here's Joe Gomez, goes to the early cross, deflected behind, another Liverpool corner. Well, before tonight you would have said Wolves will try their best not to get Liverpool corners. Well, Liverpool are about to have their 9th corner of the game, and I can't remember any of the last 8, other than actually one, just the one that has really caused threat, and actually Liverpool themselves defended that situation. But other than that, corners haven't been the key concern for Wolves tonight at all. Salah again to deliver. What can he deliver this time? There's a Wolves player down inside his own net. It's Andre. He's going down. I don't actually know what's happened, whether it was contact or... well, it must have been, because he's getting helped back to his feet. I mean, why he just decided to take a seat down in his own box, or his own goal, I don't know. It's him and Joe Gomez in a wrestle. I mean, they're still wrestling. Gomez has his arms in the air, and Andre just wrestling him. Salah goes short. Edge of the box, Szoboszlai tried the shot, blocked. Ekitike trying something different there, Liverpool, but not working out. And danger on the counter, well mopped up by Dominic Szoboszlai. Rayon Gamoa down the left for Liverpool. Again, looking for options, looking for a way through. Trying to go with a 1-2 with Ekitike, but Rayon Gamoa not on the same page, and Ekitike's ball too far ahead. Goal kick. And we head into the final 15 minutes here at Molineux. Staring down the barrel of a goalless draw. If it does go that far, it will be the first goalless draw between these two since January of 2010, when they drew 0-0 here in the Premier League. It will be a whole 16 years since the last goalless draw against these two, either at Anfield or at Molineux. Liverpool have nicked a few 1-0 winners here at Molineux over the years. Their most recent was January of 2023 when they won 1-0 in the FA Cup. Harvey Elliott with the early goal in the first half of that game was the winner on that night. 2021, December 2021, they needed a late winner from Divock Origi, 94th minute winner for Liverpool. And in the exact game before that, they also won 1-0. That was through Diogo Jota's goal, the only goal of the game. So they have nicked the game 1-0 at Molineux before, Liverpool, on a few occasions. Maybe it seems like if they are going to score tonight, they're going to need a magic moment from someone. Salah with a back heel. It's poor there. Actually, it was McAllister. Oh, a loose ball here. Van Dijk got in a bit of a muddle for the first time tonight, and that's a ball through. Here's a chance for Wolves on the breakaway. It's going to chip through, and it's gone in. Alisson couldn't keep it out. Wolves take the lead, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's their first shot of the night. 78th minute, and Wolves, we talked about Liverpool possibly snatching it. Maybe Wolves have just snatched it. Rodrigo Gomez, who got the late second goal against Aston Villa for Wolves on Friday night, is setting Wolves up here with 13 minutes to go with possibly back-to-back home league victories. Disbelief on the Liverpool side, but pure joy on the Wolves side. And it's the first time tonight that Virgil van Dijk has been bodied off the ball by any player. It's Tolu Orokodare, just nudges Van Dijk out of the way. It's not a foul. And Orokodare plays a lovely reverse ball for Rodrigo Gomez, bursting past Konate, and he chips it over Alisson, who was trying to close him down. Wolves 1, Liverpool 0. Barely believable at Molineux. One shot, one goal. The ultimate in a smash and grab. And it looks like Wolves might just be snatching their slate. Credit to their play all evening. They've been incredible defensively, keeping Liverpool out. They've had literally nothing going forward. I mean, I don't exaggerate that. That's their first shot of the night. Their first action in attack at all. And they score. It is the most crazy of result as it stands. And now Liverpool need to get their work done quickly. Rion Gamoa fighting for every ball. Chips it back across. Cleared away. Szoboszlai keeps it alive. Feeds it out wide to Jones. And now Liverpool, who were fighting for a winner a moment or two ago, are now fighting to try and find an equaliser. Here's Rion Gamoa trying to go for the shot. And Sa with a great save pokes it onto the post. Denies the 17-year-old a leveller. Great from Rion Gamoa. Fabulous from the goalkeeper. Salah to Jones. Cuts it across. Put behind by Andre for a corner. We'll see this. Great touch from Rion Gamoa onto his right foot. Sees the gap between Chachoa's legs. Decides to go for the shot. And it's saved onto the post by Jose Sa. Oh. Corner for Liverpool. Salah. Van Dijk heads it across. Fed back across by Chiesa, who's just come onto the field. No way through there. Szoboszlai wins it back. Salah. Szoboszlai. This is like a Liverpool team possessed, but questions will be asked as to why they weren't possessed before they conceded. Here's Rion Gamoa. Robertson. Early cross, whipped it in. Header is on and wide from Alexis McAllister. Well, goodness me. See that chance for Rion Gamoa again. Huge opportunity, huge moment. Unbelievable stop. He just took a little touch, Jose Sa, done enough to carry it onto the post. That is incredible. And look at that for stats. 14 shots for Liverpool, 4 on target. 1 shot, 1 on target, 1 goal for Wolves. Ekitike trying to flick it back into play as Chiesa went over under a challenge. No foul, said the referee. Wolves are away again here. A few more Liverpool players back though. This time. Just update you on this changes. Konate was replaced by Chiesa. So Gomez has joined Van Dijk at centre back, and Liverpool going all out at attack here. Salah, nice little 1-2, but he couldn't do anything with the return ball from Jones. Salah. And you have to say, Liverpool really can't complain. I mean, at no point tonight did it look like Liverpool were going to score anyway. So can they complain that they've conceded? Not really. Here's Salah. He's picked up a loose ball here. Salah breaking through. Salah! And it's gone in! Finds the back of the net. The keeper tried to keep it out. 1-1 it is. And a Liverpool team that did not look like scoring the whole night before. They needed to concede to give them a reason to score, it seemed. Wolves 1, Liverpool 1. Back level. But you got to say, though, the questions, I said it a moment ago, the questions will be asked, why has it taken Liverpool to concede for them to force themselves to try and find a goal? See it here, Salah breaks into the box, goes with the outside of his left boot, keeper tries to keep it out, just goes under his left hand there, 1-1. Liverpool back on terms. And will it save the Liverpool blushes at Molineux in probably a night where they probably haven't deserved to win? But they found a leveller. But now, Wolves have got nothing to lose. You got to say, Mo Salah, who has been on a goal drought, finds a goal when Liverpool need it most and when he possibly needs it most. That's a league goal drought, by the way. Oh, Salah's away again here for Liverpool, though. He's on his own for the moment, but he's got teammates helping him along. Salah's still going, tries to lay it through, and a great challenge to stop it getting to Szoboszlai. So close yet so far. 5 and a bit to go in normal time. Wolves away again. Rokodari comes off Van Dijk. Corner it will be. Well, I did say this game's burst into life when Wolves scored. And we always say sometimes a game just needs a goal to liven it up. Well, we got a goal for Wolves in the 78th minute. And it's been electric ever since, the last 6-7 minutes. I didn't mean that. Salah, but we see it here. Salah breaks away and tries to feed in Szoboszlai. It's the right pass, it's the right idea. But the defending, again, like it has been all night, has been fantastic. Maybe just a little underhit from Salah that allowed it to be, but right place, right time for Wolves again, and their incredible defending, and they've got a corner themselves. Left-footed delivery, swinging away from goal. Gomez with the header clear. Rio Ngamoa takes it under control. Likewise, Chiesa will fire it forward, but aimless in his ball, and that's poor. A little bit forceful, and now Wolves moving forward again, feeding it in behind. Chiesa's out of position, and Mosquera right at Alisson. End to end here. Rio Ngamoa. What an end to this game. Ngamoa well outnumbered there down the left. Well, now this game could go either way between now and the final whistle. Mental. Incredible. After shot from range over the crossbar. Wolves are pushing again. They've got nothing to lose. I don't blame them. Go for it. Why not? Shot from range, there's poor effort in the end. Well off target. See this chance for Mosquera. Can't cut it back. He just kind of chip it. Go himself, but Alisson was there to clean it up. Gomez. Curtis Jones. I believe Liverpool don't have any... Oh no, they don't. They do. Apologies, Andy Robertson. But as I said, they took off their recognised right back, Jeremy Frimpong, replaced by Joe Gomez, and then they took off Konate for Chiesa, extra attacker. Gomez has gone to centre back and Curtis Jones has gone to right back, but at the moment doesn't matter what positions they take up. Arne Slot will be hoping they've got someone to try and find a winner after they were 1-0 down and got back to 1-1. Here's Gomez, eyed up for the shot for the second, but in the end played a overhit ball out to Salah that goes for a throw. Maybe he should have went for the shot there, Joe Gomez. Never scored. Ever. 3 minutes to go. Wolves 1, Liverpool 1. And now Rob Edwards looks nervous. I've got to say, he can be in no way disappointed with this team. Not at all. Wolves have been absolutely incredible tonight. By far the best team. Here's Salah though. TK again couldn't keep it alive. Gomez with the press and throwing bodies at this Liverpool. They've got it back. Szoboszlai. Robertson. To Rio Ngamoa. Into the box. Rio Ngamoa trying to use his feet to send a player away and ends up undercooking the pass. And now Liverpool are a little bit loose at the back and open. Got bodies there that can find the pass. Gomez again, but blocked by Curtis Jones, and Rokodari will be first to retrieve it. 2 minutes of the 90 to go. Wolves 1, Liverpool 1 here at Molineux. Ballagard trying to feed it in behind. Jones blocking it and clearing. And Gamoa picks up again. What a dramatic end to this game. But I have to say, had very little to talk about before 70 minutes. Ekitike being absolutely held massively there. Has got the right hump. Ugo Ekitike. Santiago Bueno was the one that is down on the ground, but he was the one that was dragging Ugo Ekitike, who I think's lost his cool a little bit here. But it's got to be a yellow card for Santiago Bueno for the clear holdback on the French striker, but I think the referee's just calling for calm after that moment. See it again here. Yeah, Ekitike. I mean, there's no attempt at all by Santiago Bueno to play the ball. Hold and hold back, and then Ekitike just stands over him. Tries to wrestle away from a man who ends up falling to the ground, but yeah, it's a yellow card to Santiago Bueno and nothing more. This game's mental. 30 seconds to go of 90. See how long will be added on. Well, up until 70 minutes, there was nothing to add on. It's boring. Dull. Probably 75 minutes. What did I always say, though? Liverpool games always give you a crazy ending. It's always drama. In the Premier League as a whole, but specifically this team in red. Free kick to Liverpool. In the Wolves half, but a good distance out. So Boschley has it. And it's going to be 6 additional minutes at the end of the 90 here. 6 minutes. So Boschley goes short from a free kick. Salah's delivery. McAllister was closest, but put behind for the corner. And be Tolu Rokodari with the clearance there. It was. So corner to Liverpool again. Salah over it for the umpteenth time tonight. 11th to be exact, this corner. Everybody throwing themselves into the box here for Liverpool. Salah's delivery, headed away at the front post by Rokodari. So Boschley, Roberts, Ekitike on the left. Again, being held as he had possession, and he's not going to get the foul for that challenge either, but that ball from Wolves is a little bit wayward, and Gomez with a good cover. Gets it back to his goalkeeper. Pumps it forward towards Salah. On the half-turn Salah, who as it stands, his goal would be delivering Liverpool a point. They want more than that. Are they going to get a chance to get more than that? They've 4.5 minutes to try and create something. Needed a late winner against Forest. And to rescue at least a draw as it stands out of this one from 1-0 down. Can they complete the job though, Liverpool? Joe Gomez is going to take the throw. I think they're going to go long here, Liverpool. Joe Gomez has got it in his locker. Launches towards the area. Oh, up into a mix. Cleared away by Rokodari. Falls for Szoboszlai. Now Rio and Gamoa chips it to the back post. Van Dijk! Right down the throat of Jose Sa. Great ball by Rio and Gamoa, by the way. Kind of just floated to the back post. Virgil van Dijk was there. He would have been offside anyway, I think. Maybe just. And right into the hands of Jose Sa. That would have been a VAR moment, but whether it was on or offside, but nonetheless didn't find the net. Here's Rio and Gamoa again down the left. So Boschley felt he was shielding the ball, but again went down a little easily, says the referee. A few occasions where Wolves have nicked the ball and Liverpool have wanted a foul. I do agree with the referee, they've been a little soft. Well, Once again, we talk about a Liverpool winner, but could Wolves do it all over again? 3 minutes of the 6 added to go. They trip up there. Hugo Bueno he got towards the box. Curtis Jones tracking him all the way out to the sidelines as he wins it back there, Jones. Oh, cheap. Allison with the clearance. Gets it away. Looked like a little nervy there from Jones. Shots on here. Andre. Oh, deflection. Takes it past Allison. Wolves are in front again. A deflection that beats the Liverpool goalkeeper. And Wolves might just get their just rewards for their performance tonight. Liverpool thought they'd nicked a point. But Wolves are going to nick a winner, it seems. They thought they'd got their winner 15 minutes ago. They needed to wait to additional time to get the winner. In true Premier League fashion. Andre helped along its way via deflection. And Wolves are going to seemingly get their victory. Allison's short clearance that ultimately comes right back at his team. Picked up in space by Andre. No one stopping the run. And as the shot comes in, it comes off Joe Gomez and loops up and over Allison, who was wrong-footed and completely had no chance to stop it. Wolves 2, Liverpool 1. Surely that's game, set and match now. Look at Rob Edwards. Boots the ball and runs to the corner of the field to celebrate with those Wolves fans. How incredible. I mean, how poetic it is that Wolves are going to win 2 games in a row. Their second and third wins all season in the space of just 4 days. Incredible. And Liverpool and Aston Villa are going to be the 2 victims of it. But can they do it again, Liverpool, and find an equaliser? I think it's maybe too late for that. Here at Molineux, and that's guided behind for a goal kick. Away from Robertson, away from Gomez. Goal kick. Last minute or so to go. Disbelief for the travelling fans. Equal disbelief, but in a much more positive way for the home fans. And watching on, Man United fans, Villa fans, Chelsea fans, all watching on, hoping and praying that Wolves could do an unbelievable job against Liverpool. And it looks like their hopes are going to come true. And the worst fears of Liverpool are going to come true as well. Yes, they've had all the chances of the night. Yes, they've had all the big moments up until the goals came. Liverpool for 75 minutes dominated this game in possession and shots, but could not buy a goal for the life of them. Wolves scored, then Liverpool equalised minutes later, but Wolves have gone back in front, and there's now seconds remaining for Liverpool to try and find another equaliser. Chiesa! Right down the throat of Jose Sa. Now this will be undoubtedly result of the week so far in many of a race, albeit Wolves still very much bottom of the table, but they're going down fighting, Wolves, you gotta say. That's the danger of teams that are in a relegation battle. They're fighting for their lives. Yes, Liverpool are fighting for Champions League, but Wolves are a team that, weirdly, are playing with some freedom. They know very likely their fate, but they're fighting through it nonetheless. And an incredible last 4 days for these Wolves fans who've had a torrid season. A season that will not go down in the memory for them as a positive one. Well over a minute and a half past the 6 added, but of course we had a goal in this additional time. Wolves with a couple of free kicks down the left here. It looks like they're just going to see it over the line, but how incredible that they didn't have a shot until they scored, and they're going to get the job done. There's the final whistle. Wolves with 2 wins in 4 days after they couldn't get to more than 1 win in the 28 games before. The league's bottom side are causing a real stir in terms of the race for Champions League football. Aston Villa and Liverpool the victims in the last few days of Wolves' hysteria at Molineux. When Liverpool dominated for 75 minutes, Wolves with their first shot of the game took the lead through Rodrigo Gomez. Mo Salah then levelled it for Liverpool, reinstating hopes that they could still come away with something from Molineux. But in additional time, they were dashed once again when Wolves, through Andre, helped along its way by Joe Gomez, found Wolves' ultimate winner. An incredible last few days for Wolves. And in 3 days' time, these two will face each other again, albeit in the FA Cup. And arguably this game much bigger. But my goodness me, what a great result for Wolves. What a horrible result it is for Liverpool, you got to say. But that will take second place in terms of the talking points tonight. Incredible from Wolves, who defended so incredibly for 75 minutes. So ultimately, unbelievably, keeping everything Liverpool threw at them out. And ultimately, Mo Salah's goal wasn't, in the end, enough to get Liverpool anything on the road. Final score at Molineux, it's finished Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Liverpool 1. And confirmation of all 4 results tonight in the Premier League. Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0, Everton 2, Burnley 0, and Leeds 0, Sunderland 1 from the early games, and Wolves 2, Liverpool 1. Right, that is it from us tonight. Thanks for your company for our first 4 games of Midweek Madness, and madness it was after a pretty drab first 77 minutes of the game at Molineux. The final 15-20 minutes certainly delivered with drama. And let's hope more can come tomorrow night. These two teams are looking to really take advantage of what we've seen tonight at Molineux. With Liverpool now losing, it means Villa and United have a 3-point gap before they play on them. And Chelsea, with a win tomorrow night, could go above Liverpool if they win at Villa Park. Aston Villa v Chelsea, 7:30 kickoff tomorrow at Villa Park. And alongside 4 other games, Brighton against Arsenal, West Ham's trip to Fulham, Man City hosting Nottingham Forest, and the later game of Newcastle against Man United before the week is rounded off with a London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Spurs take on Crystal Palace. But that is it from us tonight. An incredible night for Wolves after what an incredible last few days. They've had 2 wins in the last 2 games, more than they had in any of their last 28 league games combined. And you got to say, yes, they still remain the league's bottom side, and quite by a fair distance, looking like they're heading for relegation. But you got to say, their fans deserve nights like this after a horrid season. Liverpool will have more work to do. 9 games to go to try and rescue Champions League football. This doesn't help them by any stretch, but it's never easy. It's just winning till the finish line. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night for Aston Villa Chelsea. Good night.